Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. You know the drill. We're back at it again with the good old Reddit stories. So let's just jump into it, shall we? I, 19-year-old male, recently found out that my older sister, 34-year-old female, is actually my biological mother. My older sister, I'll refer to her as Rose, and I have always had an amazing relationship. We were both raised by an amazing adoptive family, me since I was an infant, and her since she was 15. I grew up in a very warm and loving environment, but from what I was told, I was lucky. Here's the story I've been told my whole life. Apparently, my sister and I had two addicted parents who never took care of us. They never bothered feeding us, used to leave us at a junkie friend's house for days to go out partying, and since the day I was born, my sister was the only one who took care of me. When I was 2 months old, our parents abandoned us both at a mall several hours away. A lovely older couple spotted us, who also turned into our adoptive family, and they contacted the police. But my parents weren't at the house, which looked like a homeless cave. They were never able to locate my parents, and we never saw them again. After several months in foster care, the couple that helped us, throughout the entire duration, by the way, agreed to adopt us so that we wouldn't be separated. Today I'm 19 and Rose is 34. I still live with my adoptive family and she lives about 20 minutes away, so I come and visit her at least 3 to 4 times a week. So a couple of months ago, my friend, who knows about my vague background, offered me to take a DNA test to find out some information about my lineage/heritage, since my sister would never speak of it much. After the results came in, I found out some pretty interesting things, like being 50% Ashkenazi Jew. I also found out later that I had a 33-year-old aunt in the system. I immediately reached out to her. Let's call her Jeanette, and we agreed to meet in person. All that without telling Rose a thing. When we met up, I could see we had some similar characteristics, like same hair color and same eyes. We tried to figure things out, so I asked her if she has a brother or sister. She told me that she had a sister, but when she was 13, her 14-year-old sister got pregnant with her deadbeat boyfriend, and a month after giving birth, she ran away with the baby after some pretty intense fights with her parents. They never found her. I immediately connected the dots and asked to see a picture of her sister. When I saw the picture, I knew. This was Rose, my quote-unquote sister, 100%. Rose is my mom. We were never abandoned. We didn't have junky parents, and she fabricated the entire thing to me and our adoptive family. I immediately gave Jeanette a hug and told her that it's too much for me right now, and asked her to please keep it a secret for now. She understood and agreed. I went to my best friend's house, told him everything, and for a week now, I've been sleeping over at his place. I told my parents and my sister I'm at his house because he bought a new game that we both wanted, and we've been playing it non-stop, which is why I've been avoidant. I haven't really talked to Rose at all. I can't even look her in the eyes right now, let alone tell her that I know the truth. What the hell am I supposed to do? How do I handle this? Should I tell her that I know? Edit. My best friend just took me out for a movie and a drink. I thank you all so much for your warm replies. It helped me look at the situation a bit clearer. I have decided to break it to Rose this week that I know the truth, but I need some time to think about how to tell her. I don't know if I should try getting there slowly or just rip the band-aid off. I even considered bringing her sister Jeanette with me, but I genuinely think she would be pissed if I did that. I'll keep updating as soon as I decide how to tell her. Right now, going to bed to sleep it over. Edit 2. After seeing some comments asking how the adoption process went and expressing their disbelief, I figured I should explain some things further. First of all, it's worth mentioning that the adoption process wasn't immediate, and it took about a year between the time that my adopted parents found us at the mall and the time they adopted us. We were in foster care that whole time, and for the first few months, Rose would keep in touch with them, and they would come visit us once or twice a week. or so I'm told. I was a baby and don't remember anything. I also don't know what to believe at this point. Eventually, Rose broke down in tears for them and told them she hates foster care and that her little brother, me, would grow up here and she couldn't bear that thought. They decided to try and adopt her and hired lawyers and stuff. And after several months, it was legal and done. Again, at least that's what I was told. I don't think my adoptive parents knew/know that Rose is my mom, but maybe they do. I genuinely don't know. Update. I first of all want to thank everyone for your honest replies. It really helped me to get my feelings straight. So after a week of avoiding my entire family, I came to Rose's house unannounced with a picnic basket. She was so happy to see me. I was happy to see her. Then I told her to sit down because we need to talk. I started things with saying that I know that she has a secret that she's been hiding from me for years. Her face turned red and she started bawling her eyes out. She knew exactly what I was talking about. I told her the story about the DNA test, about Jeanette, and basically what I told you guys in the last post. Well, after she calmed down a bit, she told me the truth. She told me how she got drunk at a party and stupidly slept with a guy that was no good. He didn't really care about her or a future kid and was like, yeah, whatever about the whole thing. Apparently she found out that 10 years ago, he was stabbed in prison after sitting for drug dealing, assault, and armed robbery. She told me how her mother and father, my grandparents, tried to convince her of the idea of getting rid of the baby. They would constantly fight with her. When the baby was born, they told her on the spot that she brought shame upon the family, and they will not help raise the baby in any way. After a couple of months of learning from her friends and juggling between working and taking care of me, she had a huge fight with her parents and told them that if they're not helping in any sort of way, fighting with her and causing stress in her and her baby's life, then she and I are better off without them. They sent her to her room, she escaped in the middle of the night, and hitchhiked to a neighboring city, which was several hours away. She tried to take care of me for a few days. She found an old, abandoned house that used to have homeless people coming around every now and then. Then she took me to the mall because she didn't know what to do. At the mall, she was holding me in her arms and I was crying. She was crying too. The couple that adopted us immediately came to our aid and asked if we lost our mother. Rose jumped on the opportunity and came up with a story and an alias, that she was my sister and we were abandoned by our parents. Rose knew that her parents were looking for her. They came to their senses after a day or so. She reached out to them and told them in a letter that she's fine, is taking care of herself and me, she is not homeless, and she found a nice couple to help her. She made it clear for them that she is never coming back, and they should stop looking. So they did. Several years later, her father went on a quest to find her. She was older than 18 at this point. After so much time searching, he found her and apologized. And after a while, she forgave him and kept in touch with him. He even met me a few times, and I just knew him as one of Rose's old friends. He even helped us a few times, and apparently they would secretly meet up every once in a while. Ironically, I'm glad I got to know him before he passed, even if I didn't know that he was actually my grandfather this entire time. So after hearing all of this, I told her that we sure missed a lot by me not knowing that she is my mother, but I also told her that I understand and that I think she did the right thing. I don't resent her for keeping this secret. I'm sure it was all so overwhelming for her, and I told her that I still love her like before. To lighten the mood, I pulled out an "It's a boy" sign from the picnic basket and some snacks for a late baby shower. She laughed, we hugged, we watched a movie, and I headed off back to my adoptive parents' house to have dinner with them. Honestly, I'm glad she's my mother. I feel, for the first time in years, complete. I don't care that she lied, because she did it for the greater good, and I honestly can't imagine how my life would be right now if she didn't. Thanks to her, I got to grow up in a warm, loving home with 2 parents and a quote-unquote sister that love me unconditionally. Thanks, Reddit, for the advice, for helping me get my feelings straight, and helping me out mentally to cope with everything that happened. P.S. No, my adoptive parents don't know that I found out that Rose is my mom. mom. And I still don't know if they know that she's my mom or not either. Finding out this information changes nothing in my eyes. They are still our mom and dad, and Rose and mine's relationship will remain the same. I don't want this news potentially hurting them, if they don't already know, and I just don't want to pry at the situation further and dig up old bones more than I already have. Rose and I have both agreed to keep our lives the same, out of respect for our adoptive parents. I'm not crying, you're crying. What a wholesome outcome. The "it's a boy" sign, ugh, my heart. I know some may not agree with what Rose did, but I personally think she made the right choice. Don't get me wrong, they got so lucky that they were found by such a gracious, kind couple, and things could have gone so bad so fast, especially with them living in that abandoned shack she ran off to. Heck, they could have even been found at the mall by a total weirdo trying to kidnap a 15-year-old girl and a baby. But they didn't. The universe clearly wanted to give baby OP an amazing life, and that all started with the choices that Rose made for him. Also, yes, there are definitely some holes in this story, and like with any story on Reddit, there's a possibility that it could be fake. But keep in mind that this all happened nearly 20 years ago. OP was kept in the dark about, well, all of it, and only knows the information he's been told. And I am 99% certain that OP does not live in the USA or Canada. So keep in mind that regulations vary from country to country. But regardless, I still really loved this story, and I hope you did too. Please leave a like and subscribe if you want. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!